I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back for another show, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back. Had a good time last week talking some games.
Yeah.
Or we had a good time.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Still hope everybody else enjoyed it. We've not gotten too much feedback. We got a couple of comments from people, but not enough to really help us gauge if you liked it.
Well, if we do it again, we'll have more research and stuff. We just
we'll take our time.
Kind of did it.
The mood struck us.
Yeah, we were like, nope, screw it. Games are more fun.
Again, the movie wasn't bad.
No, the movie wasn't bad, but it just made me want to play Sega. So
that's what we
talked about.
It felt more natural.
So where can everybody find us, Shane?
All right, yeah. So people can find us. Let's see. Facebook is going to be facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics, because we lucked out on that one.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Instagram's going to be at Kentucky Fried Critics.
Easy.
Nothing special. No. That's right. And then YouTube's where it gets a little weird. You can just search for, Kentucky Fried Critics.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Yeah, you'll find us. You'll see our mascot.
Yeah, Commander Pop.
It's a full name, Commander Pop Culture.
Yeah, shortened version, Commander Pop.
So Commander Culture is what is on his name tag.
On his name tag and on his tags, it just says C Culture.
Yeah, so you'll definitely be able to find us if you search for us that way. But if you are going to type out the URL on YouTube, that's going to be youtube.com/@KFCritics, because someone already had Kentucky Fried Critics. They've not used that account in a long time, so fingers crossed.
They won't answer my challenge.
And we just get to take it. It'll be ours, hopefully. What's left? Our website.
Yeah.
Where the actual place you can download the podcast if you're not just doing it from your podcast player.
Yeah,
right?
not if you're on Spotify and all that stuff.
Yeah. If you're going to download it from the website website's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics.
Hyphens.
Lots of hyphens. Can't do anything about that. Acast automatically puts the hyphens in for everything. Now, that being said, I do love... have you ever looked at it?
I want a t-shirt that says hyphens.
Well, have you looked at the website? Our episode names, right? Like, if you...
Are they hyphened too?
Yeah, but our URLs are definitely the full episode names. So, one of the URLs is, it ends with "Daddy would have gotten us Uzis." It's pretty nice to have URLs that say stuff like that.
That's pretty good.
Some of them get pretty long, though. But, the Willy Wonka one was long.
Oh, yeah.
If someone was trying to type just that...
It's a lot of hyphens.
It's a lot of hyphens. It's a lot of typing. I would definitely find a different way to find that one. I wouldn't type the URL in yourself.
No, I wouldn't type that in there. That's way too much. As much as we love hyphens here.
Yeah. I think that is officially every place. Again, if you were just listening to us through podcast players or you want to find us in a podcast player, we are available on most major podcasting platforms, as well as iHeartRadio. Because that one, I'm going to bring it up every time now because you were so surprised and tickled by it.
That one cracks me up. Why? Such an odd thing for us to be on.
Look, it was an offer for us to do, so I said, okay.
Wasn't that one of the first satellite radio things?
Yeah, you could. It was internet radio.
Yeah,
internet radios. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to be on iHeartRadio. It tickles me immensely. They should send me a t-shirt. Free t-shirt, guys. Come on, send it to me.
All right. Well, I think that is all of the socials. You want to go ahead and take away on our beer? What are we drinking here today?
The beer for this week is Shipyard Brewing Company's Pumpkinhead Ale. Nice Halloween-y themed beer here.
Yeah, because we're kicking off Spooky Month.
Yeah, Spooky Month. Monsters, ghouls, and ghosts.
That's right. Obviously, you're going to be listening to this as our viewers. It's going to be the first Saturday of October. We thought, like many people,
like everybody,
yeah, what else do you do for the month of October? But
Christmas movies.
Man, maybe next year.
Dude, we should do Christmas movies on Halloween just to mess up the whole thing.
Halloween movies,
and then Halloween's in December.
Oh, but then that's perfect because then we can do Santa Sleigh.
Oh yeah, the one where Goldberg's the
Yes. Black Christmas. There's a whole
bunch of them. Probably gonna do that next year now. I
think we're on to something.
Write it down so we don't forget.
We're drinking Pumpkinhead Ale. It's Spooky Month, like we said.
What possible movie could we be talking about from Pumpkinhead Ale?
Well, there's a few choices, and some people made some guesses, and we did. We talked it. We talked it out.
Yeah.
We obviously we could have went
Sleepy Hollow.
We had a couple people that were guessing that we might go Sleepy Hollow.
Guy on the bottle.
Well, and again, we could have just
the Headless Horseman.
We could have just went straight Disney with the cartoon.
Ichabod.
The story of Ichabod Crane. Yeah.
I like that one. But that's a bit short, though.
It's super short. Well, I mean, we would just be covering nostalgia feelings for most of that episode if we did just that one. But no, so
our first 30-minute episode, and we're just like, I don't know what to talk about now.
Yeah, so we obviously didn't go for those. We went for the most obvious answer.
The super obvious one, and it just threw people off, I guess.
Which is, no, a few people guessed Pumpkinhead.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So, we got some people that are knowledgeable about 80s horror movies.
You pay more attention to the comments than me, too. I'm afraid I'll mess something up when I go clicking around on things.
Yeah, so just in case we weren't real clear with that, the actual answer is Pumpkinhead. We watched Pumpkinhead. We're going to now be talking to you guys about the movie Pumpkinhead.
The Stan Winston's directorial debut.
Is his company. Yeah, he had a big company.
Yeah, he had a big
media company, yeah. So it is 88, filmed in 87. So, that's when all the actors were together, was in 87.
This movie's as old as I am.
It's a monster movie from the 80s. It is a cult classic. It is not necessarily something that everybody has seen.
Which surprises me.
It surprises me too, because I've seen it.
People are like, I've not seen that one.
I'm like, man, what?
What? How'd you miss that one?
Right. But so it was shot on a shoestring budget. They had no, this wasn't like a major motion picture company.
No, it was like
thing.
$2.5 million budget.
It was next to nothing for, especially, again,
1980s.
And a major, again, they had Lance Henriksen. We've not dropped the name yet, but I mean,
had Lance Henriksen.
Nobody else was really big, but yeah, Lance Henriksen.
I know, fun fact about this movie and him, he was going to quit acting if this movie didn't do good, but he had so much fun making this movie that he reignited his love of acting, and he continued on to be the awesomeness of Lance Henriksen that we got late into the 90s, right? Yeah. He's still around.
But yeah, nobody else really of note name wise.
No, really.
I can read down the IMDb. We could tell you some
go
names.
ahead. Let's give some credit where credit's due. I love this movie.
But most of the people now, before I go down the list of names of people that we may not know, there is one person I will mention because I want to see if you might even know where they were in the movie. Mayim Bialik is in this movie. Blossom herself. This is 88, so this is pre-Blossom. Yes, she's one of the Wallace kids.
Children of the Corn kids that show up.
Yeah, she's one of the Wallace kids. She's specifically, in the beginning, she's the one who didn't know what a camera was.
I'm going back. I'm watching it again.
When they get off the truck.
I gotta go look. Yeah. That's awesome.
Mayim Bialik is in this as a bit part. I mean, it's not important. She was like 9 years old.
Yeah,
I think I read it was her first ever on-screen performance in a movie.
Yay! We can shout her out. Welcome to the family.
We've got in our main role, like we said, Ed Harley, played by Lance Henriksen. We've got his son, Billy, played by Matthew Hurley. We've got our ragtag group of kids I don't know. Because
I think they're college kids.
Are they? Okay, so here's the deal. So the one that nobody likes, Joel, is played by John... I am going to butcher this. D'Aquino. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not good with names with apostrophes.
Has he been in other stuff?
Italian.
He looks super familiar.
He's in a lot of things. Okay. I couldn't name most of them. Let's see.
He was the guy in the movie where I'm like, I know you.
We all know actors like this. You see them in things and you're like, I know him.
Yeah, he was that guy in this movie.
And sometimes you can remember what from. You definitely never can remember the name. So that's John he's probably John D'Aquino. D'Aquino? I don't know how to say this, and I do apologize. I'm going to stop trying from here on out. We're just going to say John and Joel as your character. But so he is the only other person in the movie beyond Lance Henriksen that I would say...
had a real career.
That you might know. You would see him and recognize him. None of the other people that we're about to tell you are people you would know. So we got Chris, who is also one of the
kids.
Well, basically, that's all we got. We got Lance Henriksen, a bunch of kids
the Hillbilly family,
and the Hillbilly family.
Yeah, the witch, Haggis. That's such a weird name for
They didn't just call her the Hag, which would have made sense.
Yeah, just call her the Hag.
Because they essentially she was like a swamp hag in the woods.
But they said she lived in the mountain, but then it's a swamp.
In the woods.
Where are we geographically in this movie?
I don't know. Do this rundown real quick here.
Let's do it.
We got Jeff East as Chris, Kimberly Ross as Kim. Man, that was a stretch for her. Joel Hoffman as Steve. That had to have been rough with someone playing somebody named Joel on set. And since Kimberly got to be Kim, why didn't Joel get to be Joel?
Yeah.
It's all kinds of not fair. They could have just made John instead of Joel. Would have solved everything.
It wouldn't have really mattered much what their freaking character names are.
So we got Cynthia Bain as Tracy.
I liked her.
Tracy was our final girl.
Yeah, our final girl.
Yeah,
she's
the
good.
one that makes it. Carrie Remsen as Maggie. Florence Schaufler as Haggis. The Haggis. I don't know. The kid says it like it's a name later on.
No, that's a food, dude.
Then we
one of the writers just heard that word and thought it was like, oh, that's a creepy sounding name. Haggis. Like hag, but like more.
We got Brian Brimmer as Bunt. George Buck Flower as Mr. Wallace, the leader of the Wallace clan.
Yeah.
Lee DeBro as Tom Harley.
That's Lance Henderson's dad in the beginning of the movie.
Yes. Tom Harley. And then there's Ellie Harley, played by Peggy Walton Walker. That's his mom from the beginning of the movie. And then lastly, we'll just let this wrap it up because again, there are tons of extras, but this would be the last of the somewhat important characters. Is going to be Little Eddie. So Lance Henriksen as a kid.
Yeah, the kid version.
Yeah,
now, Eddie.
Is played by Chance Michael Corbett. And that's it. Like I said, none of these are names I'm expecting you to know beyond Lance Henriksen and the surprise guest spot of Mayim Bialik.
Yeah.
Maybe John D'Aquino.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody's affiliation with that actor.
Any of you special film nerds out there, let us know if any of these people have been in any other cool stuff. So we can look out for them later.
That's right. We'll just get into the actual movie. You guys know how we like to do this. We'll start with how it opens. It definitely opens. You guys know me. I love talking about the music.
Yeah,
the opening song sets the tone.
That's the first note every time, right?
Yeah.
Just like, the music.
Yeah. This one wasn't really, it was barely music. I'll go ahead and say that.
Kind of
it was just like ominous tones.
Yeah, just duh,
My note is 80s style ominous tones.
Yeah. I just wrote generic creepy music in the beginning.
Yeah. The slowly dramatic building up
and it builds more
and
up,
more,
and there's like the random like steel guitar in the background going.
Now, as much as we're kind of ragging on this music, it definitely sets up. If you watch other 80s movies, 80s horror movies specifically, this is the sound. This is like the sound. This is what they sound like. Yeah. So they nailed it.
But Stan Winston worked on Aliens and all these other movies and stuff before he did this. So he's just like, oh yeah, creepy tones. I'm down. I know this. This is what we're going to do. And there with the sound guy, like, just give me some bong. You know what I mean? Just some nice deep bong.
So we go straight from the nice spooky feels of this. Again, the opening it's nothing.
Fire.
It's crazy.
It's just
opening,
fire, basically.
Yeah. We're not seeing anything to help us know anything about why this movie is called Pumpkinhead. I can only imagine.
There's not even a shot of a pumpkin or anything.
I can only imagine like going to it in a theater and being like, I just want to know.
Why is it called Pumpkinhead?
What's the connection here?
Because the movie poster,
all they're showing you
look like a pumpkin.
All they're showing you is fire and flame.
Right.
We're not spoiling anything. This movie has been out forever.
35 years.
But so I will go ahead and say this. It is 3/4 through the movie before we find out why he's Pumpkinhead. And it is not because his head looks like a pumpkin.
It's because he's buried in a pumpkin patch.
The movie, though, opens with fire and brimstone. And then what we find out is a flashback, but in the beginning we have no idea that it's a flashback. Does it tell us that it's not present day?
It does. It says 1957 at the bottom of the screen.
Since we technically
don't know when the movie takes place, this doesn't mean much.
But so we see a family. Little kid.
The
it
dad
just seems normal-ish, but the dad is doing
like
some weird
loading
stuff.
The shotgun, going around,
But everything else seems normal.
Everything and
right? Like
it.
the mom and the kid interacting, you're just like,
she's
this
like,
is
just
like a
say
normal
your prayers and do all that. But she does ask the dad if she should be scared when he comes back in
from checking the animals.
And then
she asks if the animals are going to be okay too, right?
Yeah. And then it cuts to some guy running for his fucking life
through a cornfield. Andy stares at a scarecrow. I point these out because I feel like they are just referencing other 80s era horror movies.
Yeah, like
Children of the Corn, obviously. And there's a bunch of
the town that came and feared sundown or something like that.
Scarecrows are super famous in horror movies. Like it's been a trope for a long time. I love Scarecrow movies. I've owned a bunch of generic ones over the years.
Was a Scarecrow movie? I can't
Not
remember.
technically, it's a monster. He's a monster. They did it. He kind of looked
like a
Scarecrow.
All right.
In a giant trench coat. I love Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, we'll have to do that movie.
It came out on my birthday.
Nice.
And it's about twins.
Yeah, it's even better. So perfect.
I just have such a...
You and Amber, right?
Yeah. Me and my twin sister were like... And again, is it just about twins. It's about a male-female set of twins. Which is not usually the twins movies talk about. So we were like, it's coming out on our birthday.
Right.
And it's about twins. Like us twins.
Right.
We were excited. Let's see. Let's
back
try
to
to
the
get,
dude running for
let's
his
try
life.
to get back on target. But yeah, so again, I just feel like they wanted to like rib at some other 80s horror movie franchises.
Children of the Corn had came out before this too, right?
I guess. I'm pretty sure. One of those long-standing ones.
Yeah.
We see this man. He runs all the way up to the door. He's pounding, trying to get getting to let him in.
They are not going to let him in.
Yeah,
He's like, I will shoot you through the door if you do not get away from here.
We don't know exactly what's going on. We've not seen anything.
No.
We've not seen it yet, other than maybe an arm for a split second. Like, right? Did we see it?
I don't think we saw the arm. It just we just see him get drug off screen by something.
But yeah, so we have no idea what it is. But all we know is the man starts yelling that
what kind of Christian are you?
It is going to punish him. He doesn't give it a name yet. He just says it's going to punish him, and that he did not do the things he was accused of.
He didn't kill those little girls.
Yeah,
is what he
like
says.
he was accused of, which lets us know a couple of things. Since after the movie's over, if you know the movie, this is one of those moments where it made me just all of a sudden realize, like, oh, so this whole process is fallible, right? Like anybody can make an accusation as long as the witch is willing to put the spell.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they actually did it. The demon's going to go kill it and anything around it that's trying to help it.
Right. So we don't even really know if this man actually is guilty.
No, he probably didn't.
Because at first, like when you watch the movie at first, you're just kind of like, oh, it really is just like it's like a golem. Like you summon it and it goes is righteous. It is righteous, right? Yeah. It is bloody and horrible, but it is righteous. But it's not.
No,
it is literally just at the whims of whoever
accuses
makes an accusation. So
that sucks.
Yeah,
especially for our little group of teens here, because
those teens are not going to be in good shape. But yeah, so we go from the flashback to zoom in.
The guy get killed through the window when he's a kid.
Little kid Ed sees the death, and then we zoom out and then flash into adult Ed from little kid Ed.
Yeah, he's on the same farm, it seems like.
Well, yeah, no, they're definitely implying it's the same, like family property.
Yeah, he's just burning.
It's the Harley
some weeds with his flamethrower.
Yeah, so it's like the Harley family property there. It's Lance Henriksen rocking the weirdest set of teeth prosthetics I've ever seen. That was a weird choice, dude, and it was hard.
He insisted on it.
I know. It was hard to watch the movie anytime he had to talk, because it's all I could do was stare at the teeth.
You're just waiting for him to fall out.
That one tooth, it was like half a tooth or something, man. It was so nuts.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was a weird choice.
It was. He wanted to look super backwoods and hillbilly, and I mean, we all have bad teeth.
I guess though, man, I didn't like it.
I wouldn't have done it.
It was distracting to watch. It was distracting.
I mean, the clothes were enough.
Yeah, so we see we see that it's him and his son living on this farm together.
Yeah, they're doing chores.
And their dog Gypsy, which can hit home for me. Yeah. I've got a dog named Gypsy. I was like, oh, Gypsy, all right. I can connect. I can really connect with this family.
If anything happens to this dog, I riot.
Oh, I was worried.
Right? Couldn't remember. It'd been too long since you've seen it. Just like, do they kill the dog? They better not kill that fucking dog.
But so yeah, then though we cut away from them. Well, no, we see that they're gonna go open up. They own a store.
Yeah,
they're open up their little grocery store that looks like a dilapidated shack. That if it had not been for the fruit they put in boxes on the porch, I would have assumed was a dilapidated abandoned shack.
Is there even power?
I would never have stopped at it.
No,
if I drove past it, I don't know why I would have been on the road. It was on, but I never would have stopped on it like these people do.
I mean, apparently he's like the grocer for everybody.
Well, it says the sign.
Yeah, Hurley's Groceries on the
Harley.
Is it Harley?
Yeah, Ed Harley.
Oh, the kid's last name is Hurley in real life. That's why I got confused.
Sure.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
It is. Yeah, but yeah, they are definitely the Harleys. We cut from them out to the our not teenagers though. That's the thing.
No.
Like, you want to say teenagers because it's the 80s.
80s, but
and
these kids are...
the trope in the 80s is that it should be
Yeah,
teenagers.
they should all be like 16 and shit.
But that's like in an 80s slasher movie.
Yeah,
right?
this
Like,
is
we're
not
gonna
a
get specific. This is still a horror movie. This is not though a slasher movie. This is a monster movie.
Yeah, hell
the
yeah.
rules are a little bit different.
Yeah,
right?
you get to have college kids now.
So, and the problem comes in when you start to bring in like Jason, because that's my favorite. He is a little bit of both because he is undead,
Yeah.
at least for some of the movies.
And half demon for some of the other movies.
We don't talk about that one.
I like that one.
Jason Goes to Hell is not the one we talked
It's
about.
so fun though.
Jason is not a little worm thing.
But it's so bad. Oh yeah, I like bad movies. That's right. I forgot.
As someone who likes the franchise, I'm just letting you know, the people who like the franchise, that's not the one we talk about.
That's fair. If you
It's
like,
the worst. You gotta admit,
it's the Mystery Science Theater one though.
No, it is the most entertaining to be like, WTF just happened here?
What am I
How did I
watching?
get here?
Why is he a worm?
Why is he a worm? Why can he look like anybody? Why, when he's in certain people, does he look like a giant blue coveralled man with a hockey mask on? So many questions.
Yeah.
So many. Where was this magical Voorhees family killing dagger in every other movie?
I think it was supposed to be a different movie, and then they just injected.
No. Here's the thing. I'm glad that you brought this up because, again, I love the franchise. I could talk about this every time we did one of these if I wanted to. I could find some way to work it in. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Specifically, that movie, Jason Goes to Hell, in case people didn't know which one we're referencing, Jason Goes to Hell is the first movie since Friday the 13th Part 1 that was directed by the same man.
What weird ass crazy dreams was he having that he's just like, no, this is where I wanted the character to go the whole time.
Or written, I don't know. All right, he was a director and he came back and he was the producer.
Oh no.
For Jason Goes to Hell. But so he was the one that was making some of the choices.
I was just say he had the real power.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love the first one. I love the franchise. But man, there were some choices in that one.
Yeah, it's definitely the one that's like, why this one's
It's the one that after that they look, they went to space. They go into the future and go to space, and we all like to talk about that one.
I love that
more
one.
than we like to talk about Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do all the Jason movies at some point.
I could do them.
Oh, we should, dude.
I could do them forward and backward. I
Might
love
as
it.
well hit Jason, Michael Myers.
We could do all of them. Again, there's only so many weeks in October, and we've already got some of this hashed out. That's going to be our problem.
Yeah.
We
are way off
track.
topic. Just cut to where we were going to meet our people. They're driving.
Yeah, so they were driving. Yeah,
And
our
first-
teenagers that are not. That's how we got here.
Yeah, teenagers that aren't teenagers.
Yeah, because again, in most movies, you would, especially from the 80s, you would
Expect them to be like
teenagers.
16, 17.
But they're not.
No.
They're definitely like.
And the first line we get
20-year-olds.
is somebody explaining that Joel isn't as bad as he's supposed to be because Joel's an asshole.
But then we immediately see that Joel is like
Indeed an asshole.
and driving drunk,
Drunk.
asking for the passenger, his girlfriend Kim, to give him another beer.
And then he, like a dick, just blows past the other guys in the truck hauling the dirt bikes and blows his horn. I'm like, oh yeah, he's our asshole for this movie. He's good at it.
They drive past a homeless guy
Yeah, some guy walking down the street and they're...
who just hunted.
He's got his rifle and stuff.
They
And
make fun of him.
She wants to take pictures of him like she's on some kind of safari, like he's like some exotic animal.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
Yeah. Tracy, right? Tracy's the one with their camera.
Yeah, that was the only thing about the character that annoyed me is like in the beginning of the movie, she's acting like she's on safari taking pictures of all these weird hillbilly people.
Yeah. So that literally leads us up to what happens next. So they pull into Harley's grocery.
Yeah.
They all get out. Some of them go inside. Joel immediately gets out, makes fun of, again, as if we didn't already know, as if they didn't tell us that nobody liked Joel except for Joel's brother. What was his Steve?
Steve, yeah.
Nobody liked Joel except for Steve, and it seemed like he only put up with them.
Yeah,
right?
because he's his brother.
Yeah,
One of those.
But so Joel immediately gets out of his car, looks at poor little Billy Hartley or Harley. I messed it up.
Yeah.
Looked at poor little Billy Harley and was like, "Hey, those glasses look like Coke bottle
bottles."
bottoms." And again, Total dick move.
And everybody
Nobody asked for it.
No, the other people even look at him like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, and as soon as they basically say that to him, he was like, what? I just said. And the other guy had to cut him off. Chris had to cut him off. Chris was like, no, we know, dude.
Yeah, we heard what you said. Just shut the fuck up, dude. And he gets a little pissy and goes and grabs his dirt bike.
Yeah, and rides off. Which is the moment where we find out that he's supposed to be the dirt bike rider. I don't know.
No, I thought it would
who
be...
you thought
I thought it was Steve.
supposed to be the one that was badass dirt biker.
Yeah. That was Steve. He had the headband.
Joel is not the one I thought. No. He was in a leather jacket, but not like...
A dirt bike leather jacket. Like a regular...
Like a puffy leather jacket.
Yeah, a puffy one.
It was a little bit, padded. Not the kind of thing...
You would wear on a dirt bike, really.
It was weird. I was totally blown away by the fact...
It's a weird spot to decide to go ride your freaking dirt bikes, too.
Although it did seem to be tons of hills right there.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a perfect spot, but like maybe ask the grocery guy first.
That's what I'm getting at.
Hey, you mind if we ride our dirt bikes around your property here?
Like we set up already. Tracy was just there taking pictures of the hillbillies, and so people. The Wallace clan shows up with right after they get there
with nine kids, one of which being mine
Bialik, who doesn't know what a camera is, and her brother mocks her for not knowing what a camera is. It was a weird scene, and the Wallaces are all in tattered clothes that are all dirty. Brown and grayscale, and these people literally look like they're walking out of like 1865.
Yeah.
But either way, the Wallaces just are people who their clothes are so old and so hand-me-down that they just look brown.
Yeah.
Just different shades of brown.
Yeah.
And back to On Topic. A-Boy has the ball.
Billy's ball.
And it is Billy's ball, and he wants it back. Because it's Gypsy's. He was playing with Gypsy with the ball.
Yes.
And so Bunt steps in and then starts to ridicule his brother who has stolen the ball from Billy.
With the Pumpkinhead rhyme.
Which is real. And the poem, that rhyme is from the poem. It's not the whole poem. There's more to it.
I'm sure.
No, I don't think it's a not like a famous one, but it's not. I don't think it's somebody that works
somebody
there.
Came up with to scare their kid.
They were totally just ridiculing the brother and scaring him.
Yeah,
right. And so
Pumpkinhead comes for people who do bad things.
Bad things. That's right. And so while the taunting is going on, Tracy is freaking
the fuck out, and she's the one that's just like. Stop it.
Yeah, she screams, and when she screams, Chris is beside her, and he was like, I was just about to tell
I was going to say something too. It's like, shut the fuck up. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
You were just silently like, what the fuck?
And so the kids all load each other back into the back of the truck. Now, we will cut to what happened inside while all this was going on. I didn't feel like cutting back and forth for it. But so as soon as they got there, the elder Wallace, we find out later he is literally like the grandpa. He is the true patriarch of this whole
the Wallace clan.
And so he goes inside. He needs feed. Dude didn't bring the feed. Ed didn't bring the feed with him. He was like, I'll have to go home and get it and
bring it to your house. He's like,
well, at first he was like,
can you wait?
Can you wait? And the guy was like, nah, I'm not in a hurry. I can't wait.
I got all these freaking kids out there.
Exactly. I brought half of my well, not even his. They're his grandkids. But yeah, I brought half the clan with me.
Right. They're just out there, and they're going to start causing trouble in a minute.
And so they were like, okay. He was like, all right, I'll go get it, and I'll bring it out to your house. And he's like, okay. He rings everything up for the our crew.
Our group of college kids.
We'll just call them our crew.
Our crew.
From here on out. That way we know. We don't got to keep second guessing ourselves.
Crew versus clan.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. The Wallaces are the clan. Our people are the crew.
Yeah, and so our crew got completely rung up by Ed. They are literally done inside the store. The only reason they're still hanging out is because Joel is off on his dirt bike, and his brother decides to go try to get him and bring him back. And so we see that he's about to ride off. But so then this is one of those parts where I get it. Writing has to happen so we have a movie, right?
Yeah.
But this is one of those parts where literally it was like, oh, wait, if this just wouldn't have happened, and this is one of the dumbest moments I've ever seen, none of this would have even been a problem. So Ed walks over to his son Billy and is like, Billy, I'm going to go home, get the feed, come back, pick you up, then we'll go there. And it's like, is Billy supposed to run the store? Billy is 5, right? Like 5 years old.
4 or 5. He is
Billy's not running the store, right? He's not even competent enough to watch the store. And if you're immediately just going to pick him up to deliver the feed, Why
You
not just take him home with you?
Right?
I did not understand anything about that.
No, he just leaves the kid at the grocery store.
Unattended
With all these
a group of
stupid...
strangers from the city, which he has already made comments that he does not approve of.
Yeah. It's goddamn city folk.
It was mind-boggling.
I know, but the movie has to happen.
Exactly. The movie has to happen. I get it. I understand that.
There's another point in the movie where none of this would have happened if somebody had made a different decision.
I know. We'll get to it when we get to it. I know. But yeah, the writing, though, did that not just strike you? You're just
as soon
like,
as I saw it, I was like,
on?
I know it's like supposed to be the 80s and shit, but you still wouldn't have done this.
You just take this kid with you.
You would just take the kid with you. You might leave the dog.
Totally.
Hoping that the dog might bite somebody if they try to steal shit.
But so that then sets us up to where we get our next action beat moment, right? Yeah. So then Ed goes home. Billy stays out. At first, Billy is doing what he's supposed to. He's inside. But then Gypsy runs outside.
Yep, Gypsy goes outside because
goddamn Gypsy.
She's got to go bark at the dirt
Gypsy.
bike.
Gypsy causes the problems because she's got to run out there, and he runs out behind her. As soon as he runs out, I will give credit.
One girl tries to chase
the
him.
one that goes catatonic.
Yeah, Maggie
tries to run after him,
but she face plants pretty hard too.
Something, dude.
The actress sold that. She went for it,
and nobody else gets
just
close to him.
Watched him like, hey, look, there's a kid.
Well, in all fairness, when you're watching the scene play out, you are kind of just like, why is everybody freaking out so bad? It doesn't seem like that big a deal. But then we see it, and then so first Steve comes down. Steve almost narrowly misses him, wrecks his bike. And then Joel comes over immediately after him. Now look, I love me some practical effects.
Yeah, but you can't.
And they are usually, to me, better than going
CGI
or whatever else. This motorcycle scene with this kid does not pan. Because it totally looks like this kid gets nudged.
Yeah, literally
nudged. It looks like he gets nudged. And then they immediately do this weird cut to what is obviously a rag doll getting it was attached to the bike, right?
Yeah.
And it got there was a switch that it flung him. That's literally what it looks like, right?
It wasn't very good.
It was not only was it a bad doll, it was a bad cut to the doll, right? It didn't line up good.
Like a TV show shot.
It was
I got hit.
Now I will say though, other than that one, I had no complaints about any of the other.
No, everything else is
all the other
fantastic.
effects.
They didn't want to make the death of the kid look too real, I guess.
But that one moment, I was like, man, practical effects aren't always great.
Because I can tell that is not even like a dummy, like a rag doll.
It is a rag doll. It is literally
floppy armed and legged and everything. They went and got one of those Raggedy Andy dolls.
But so then we dressed it up. We immediately pan to kid dead.
Yeah, he's on the ground.
But everybody's not dead.
He's not dead
dying.
yet. He's very, very injured, and everybody else is panicking.
They're panicking. Joel runs off.
Yeah, Joel runs away.
He's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, he goes,
hops in the car
and
goes.
And leaves.
Everybody else is panicking. Still, nobody is trying to drive this kid somewhere.
No.
Nobody.
They all scatter and leave Steve there by himself.
Well, Steve, he
volunteers, but I'm like, this is not how you handle this crisis.
No.
One person should have went to go get the phone in the Jeep. The rest of you should have stayed here.
I have no idea. It was all crazy. But so then Steve stays. We don't really see anything else with the rest of the group. We come back to them.
Yeah.
But then so we see Ed show back up.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he's like, "Where's my kid?"
Oh.
And he starts screaming for him. And he's like, Gypsy, why are you bothering that man?
Yeah,
right? That's the way he yells it at first. Gypsy.
And then he goes,
"Hey, Gypsy." And then he's like, "Wait a minute. Why is my dog by that man?"
Yeah.
And he runs over because he realizes. He picks the kid up.
What is that odd lump on the ground?
He picks his kid up. Steve is nervously, awkwardly jabbing the glasses. I was like, what is this scene? Why did we need this?
You don't think the kid needs the glasses?
I felt like they should have seen that in edit and they should have been like,
let's just go ahead and cut to him being trying to explain it.
Yeah.
He's like, it was an accident.
Yeah. And so that's how they walk away.
Ed's
he's
just
screaming.
walking away. And he's like, can I help? And he whips around and gives him the god-awfulest look. Like, I will eat your face if you take another step.
Now, this is another moment. I don't know if this is even the same one you were talking about where the movie wouldn't have been here. But the movie wouldn't be here right now if Ed would have put Billy in the truck and drove to the hospital. Why is nobody taking this poor kid to a hospital?
Why'd you take him home?
He went home with this kid.
I know it's a small rural town, but there is a doctor,
there is somebody
hospital, clinic, something
that he should have drove
that
to.
he can drive to.
Not his
home.
house. Was this the other moment you were going to talk about?
This one, and there's one more.
Oh man.
There's
the movie is loaded
there's
with
like
them.
3 or 4 where like if just one guy had done one thing different, none of this happens.
So yeah, he takes Billy home, and we even get proof that Billy has not been dead this whole time.
Yeah,
because there is a moment where Billy leans up while his dad's telling him a story, like Ed's telling him a story and cleaning his face, and he goes, "Daddy,"
and then goes limp. Good acting by the kid.
Oh
though.
yeah, and so again we get our proof that the kid was not dead. He could have chose to go to a hospital.
This whole thing took like 15 minutes.
But so he didn't. Now we'll cut to our other people. The first people we see, because again, Steve is not with everybody yet. He's still
back at the grocery by himself.
The first thing we see is
Tracy and everybody.
Tracy runs,
they all pull up.
and Tracy runs inside. Well, no, it's just her first, right?
Yeah, she goes in first because they tell her to just go while he
So
takes care of Maggie.
Tracy shows up to the house first, and it's Joel and Kim, his girlfriend, that are already there. And when she gets there, you can visibly tell Joel just smacked Kim up.
Yep, he just told her to fucking
because her face, she's holding her face,
yeah.
and she got slapped for sure.
She was telling him to call the police and stuff. You know she was.
Yeah,
and he told her to shut her fucking mouth.
And so Tracy comes in, and Tracy, much like Kim probably did, was like, "We need to call the police. We need to get this kid help right now." And Joel rips the phone cord. And again, this is not, you could tell, this was not supposed to be like a phone that plugs
jack.
and unplugs. This was a wired in,
into
and
the
so
wall.
there is just no more phone.
Yeah.
For the rest of the movie,
wires.
Yeah, for the rest of the movie, just know that that's
no
not
phone.
an option. That's why no one tries, because his dumb mistake set it up to where the only phone we had is now gone. Because I promise you, the Wallace clan doesn't have a phone.
No.
And
the Wallace clan doesn't have power.
Yeah, and obviously the Harleys didn't have a phone.
No.
Because at no point do we see Ed try to call anybody. Well, I mean anybody. Not even just a hospital. At no point do we see him try to call anybody. So we can assume
there wasn't one in the grocery store either. So it's like phones are not a real freaking thing around
whatever area they're in 1987. So he rips the phone cable out. And now this is where it got really weird to me, right? Because so he rips the phone cable out, and we find out that he's been in an accident before. He's on probation. He's a repeat drunk driver, and not just repeat drunk driver, but a repeat accident having drunk driver, right?
Yeah, some girl got hurt.
And so he was like, I can't let them find out about this kid, because then I'll get in big trouble. Now, to me, I was like, they're trying to get this kid help so that way this kid doesn't die. And the man is like, I can't let him find out I hit the kid, because then I'll get in drunk driving trouble. He's not worried about getting in murder trouble
because you killed the kid and didn't try to help him
and prevented other people from helping him.
Yeah, you're making this super way worse, man.
I was like, man, I don't understand what we're doing right here.
Joel's not a smart man.
No, obviously not. He is.
He is the family fuck up.
Yeah, we've already established nobody likes him. But again, this is my other problem. Yeah. We know that nobody liked him when he killed the kid. Why are people still talking to him?
Well, here in a minute he's gonna lock everybody in a closet.
But that's my point is, like, he sped off, he left. Would you, if you were with the dude that like just killed a kid, you would have left, right? You wouldn't have been like, I'm gonna go to the cabin I think he went to.
No,
I'm gonna go back to wherever we just drove from, even if it's a 5-hour drive back.
Yeah, that's his fucking problem,
right? I don't understand any of it.
Nothing to do with it. I will answer any questions the police have if they come talk to me, but didn't have shit to do with it.
So I can't wait to hear your next the whole movie could have been stopped moment, because to me this was the whole movie could have stopped right here, because again, nobody would have wanted to be with Joel. The whole movie should have stopped. Yeah. The Vengeance Demon would have went after one guy.
Yep, just would have went after that dude,
and it would have been done.
And maybe Kim, but
yeah, because she might not have left.
She would have stood there and died with him.
But so no, we don't get that. We get everybody shows back up. He's locking them in the closet one by one. Yeah, because he
knocks Chris out for trying to take the keys.
He knocks Chris out. Tracy gets put in.
Maggie's just catatonic.
Maggie's catatonic.
So he leaves her alone.
Yeah, he doesn't put her in the closet
at this point because she's just in a ball.
So when Steve shows up,
he's like, "What the hell, man?" And like the guy came and picked up the kid and left. I think we're okay.
Yeah, I love that scene too. Like he's like, I think we're okay, and like Joel's like, why do you think that? And then gave us a little phrase that was like, I don't think we're okay. Like he was like, he just looked at me like
he was gonna kill me.
And it's like, so why did you think we're okay?
Because he didn't say he was calling the police.
Because at all points in this, it's because Steve was naive enough to think that the kid was okay.
Yeah, he didn't believe that he was.
Everyone else was convinced, and rightfully so, as we find out that the kid died. But Steve was like, no, he's okay. At this point, we see that they're all just in frantic panic mode, and we cut to Ed. Ed now is like, again, he still is not like, let's get this kid to a hospital. At this point, we see he's put a blanket, so we can assume
he's dead.
And so he's like, he knows what he needs to do. He goes to the Wallaces
and asks about the old woman.
Because he's heard she's got magic.
In the mountain and back in the woods on a swamp.
Yeah, something. And so Grandpa Wallace is like, Old Man Wallace, he's like, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. And then finally he's like, all right, well, I'll tell you. He sends the grandkids off and he tells him, it ain't going to do you no good, though. Because that woman can't bring that kid back. Yeah. All she can do
is send your soul straight to hell.
That's right. It's all about the vengeance. It's all about the anger and animosity. Like we're talking like Needful Things style here. You don't get something good.
No, you just go on home, bury.
You get what you want, but what you want ain't necessarily what you really wanted. Yeah.
What's the song?
Oh,
from Rolling Stones.
You get what you need. But
so our shortest singing so far.
But so we go from the.
This is where I think is the other point where it wouldn't have happened.
Oh yeah, okay. You're right. No, Bunt. Yeah,
Bunt had simply just went inside like Grandpa told him.
But at least this one pays off later.
Yeah.
Like the Bunt doing what he does, we do get a payoff moment where Bunt finds out like my fucked up decision caused all this. You don't see that for the other back out moments of the movie. No. It's literally like just like the viewer might see it and be like, what? We could have stopped right here.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes. I was like, this is kind of all Bunt's fault. If he had just went inside, Ed would have went home, buried the kid.
But Bunt at least realizes that himself. Yeah, he has the realization moment.
He has to deal with the consequences of his actions.
That's what's in my notes about it.
I did not wrote that. I just blamed him.
But for right now where we're at, it makes sense because right where we're at is before you knew.
Because he runs up and stops Ed like, hey man, you give me some money. I know where that. Well, he didn't even
ask for money. He just said, "What will you give me?" And so Bunt was like, "Yeah, I'll take you. I'll take you as far as I can, but I ain't going all the way."
Old woman scares the piss out of me.
They ride up, and I mean, it's obnoxious how close they get. When Bunt says, "I'm not going
30 feet."
Yeah, he's literally like, you see the house that you can literally see from where we're at. That's the one.
This is as far as I go.
But I'm gonna turn around
and
now.
Then run the 5 miles we just drove back to my grandpa's house.
And again, though, this is out in the woods, but she's mountain magic. This is
she's the old woman on the mountain. But she lives in
But the house totally when you see the inside of the house,
it's in the woods.
It gives you voodoo swamp magic woman vibes because there's tarantulas crawling around and stuff.
And there's steam and smoke going around.
But so he goes inside this cabin and sees this old lady. She's got like those she's blind but lost the color and pigment to her eyes
like
too.
She's rotting already.
Yeah, no, she definitely looks over 100 years old.
She is ancient.
Yeah, and so he tells her who he is and what he wants, and she's like, I can't bring that kid back.
Nothing I can do for him.
And he's like, yeah, you can. I brought you this. And he
when I was a kid, I saw the thing.
Yeah, and he throws down all this money. He's like, I brought you everything I got. And you can see when he throws the stuff in the cup, it is literally like trinkets from his house.
Yeah,
it's just like pocket watches,
silver and gold trinkets.
He went and got those silver dollar coins himself.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he? He went and found the stuff.
Yeah,
that's dedication. See,
he said he went to antique shops. So those are literally like
silver dollars
that my dad collected, the 1920 not Susan B. Anthony silver dollars.
No,
but the Liberty, the 1923 Liberty dollars. Yeah, that's what they were. A bunch of real ones. He's been quoted as saying like half of them got lost in that scene because she knocks the cup over and they literally fell through the wooden slats in that cabin.
Oh no.
Lance Henriksen did a lot of that in this movie, though. He did like to lend extra credence to moments, like the shotgun that he carries later on.
Yeah,
that's an authentic, real shotgun he went out and found because he wanted to fit the character he saw in his head.
Yeah, you can tell that this movie like reinstated that love of acting.
Yeah, I know. He went in and he wanted to be a character.
Yeah, because he was like, I just want to do everything possible to make this character seem legit.
And so he talks to this woman. She's like, she tells him from the beginning, I can't bring the kid back.
It's got a powerful price.
But no, well, that's not even about the kid.
Oh, yeah.
She's already established to him that she cannot bring the kid back.
Yeah.
And then she's like, tell me what you really want. And he's like, slams his fist and he wants, he doesn't say it, but he wants revenge.
He heard the stories from when he was a kid. If a man was wronged, you could do
and so
things.
She said, if that's what you want, comes with a high price. We can do it. You're going to have to go dig me something up.
You ever heard of Razorback Hollow?
So,
I love how she talks.
And so our witch, Haggis.
Haggis.
Again, first name. They treat it like it's a name. Haggis. So we're going to treat it like it's a name. Although everything in me wants to say the Haggis. Like the hag,
food. Yeah,
or
hag.
like the hag. No, Haggis.
Just
like it's her
Haggis,
name.
that's her name.
Yeah. And so she sends him to, and she tells him it's out on the Razorback Ridge,
right?
But she also tells him that it is a cemetery, and that it was a pumpkin
patch
cemetery. That's what she calls
they
it.
would bury kin they's ashamed of.
Yeah, yep. And so he says, "All right." Despite how insane this sounds, I'll go
dig up whatever and bring it back to you. Because she doesn't tell him what it is. She's like, you'll know.
Yeah, and so he goes and he digs.
These are the only pumpkins we see in this movie, too.
When he gets... So I want to establish this. Like, again, so if you've not seen this movie or if you've seen it and it's been a long time and maybe you're not picturing it right, it is literally like a pumpkin patch where they are growing rotten. They at no point were they ever alive. They started as a baby pumpkin, rotten, and it just kept growing
bigger,
rotten. It is a full of rotten pumpkins.
It's Papa Nurgle's garden.
It's horrible. And so he gets there, and in the middle there's like a pillar of dirt,
a dirt stump.
And he's like, "That's where I gotta dig." And
she wasn't lying. He knew it.
But all I gotta say is, like, when I saw it, I was like,
was it supposed to be a tree stump?
I don't know. Would you dig there? If you saw
I wouldn't have climbed on top. I would have dug around the base.
I don't even know if I would have done that. I would have looked at it. It was so thin. I would have looked at it and been like, well, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I don't know if it could fit in that.
Right. He didn't know that it was like a little bundle body.
Almost infant looking thing.
Yeah, it was all in the fetal position.
So yeah, he digs into the ground. He finds this dead
corpse thing.
He first pulls it out of the ground. And it has like a couple of centipedes and things rolling, and he drops it. And I swear, the way you see Lance Henriksen's acting for Ed in this moment, he jumps down off the top, right? Because he's so startled. And he has a moment where I literally was like, you look at him and you're like, oh, this is the moment. Because he looks like he's like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like, fuck this.
This
what am I
insane.
Doing? This is way too much.
I'm digging up a dead body? And instead of
that
being what we get, it's literally he was just like, I was insane for jumping down. I need to get back up there.
Fuck, that's the thing that I need.
It was so weird. And so, yeah, he gets the body. He drives it back to our witch. And when he gets to the witch, he had to leave the kid with her, which only makes sense. Because why would
you carry the body up for your kid unless you're going to leave it there?
Yeah. Well, and why would you drive it all over creation and back?
He went to pick it up, too. She was just like, leave the boy.
And so he shows back up, kid's there, and so she does her spell, and her spell involves cutting the dead body, cutting Ed, and cutting the child. Now, the way I interpreted this
all together.
The way I interpreted this was it's the blood of the accuser, the blood of the wronged, and the blood of the demon or something, right?
All of those unholy trinity.
All of those combined create this magical whatever. That's what I
like that. That's canon now. I'll accept that.
We see at this moment the creation of Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, and it starts.
And I don't know about you, but as a kid and as an adult now watching it, not the fully formed Pumpkinhead. You know, like that there's a moment where it's like infantile Pumpkinhead, which doesn't make sense because it was a big body.
Yeah.
But there's this moment where it's like infantile Pumpkinhead, where I swear I always get more alien vibes than I get monster movie vibes from. Like, I'm like, this thing could literally be dropping out of an alien spaceship and I'd be totally okay with it. Like, it's got that kind of white look to it.
Yeah, it's all pale white and kind of almost cute.
Yeah, the eyes haven't gone cloudy yet.
And stuff, and it's just like, meh. Like a half-second shot.
But so then it quickly,
like,
then it quickly finishes the evolution.
Yeah, and then it's standing.
Full
and
Pumpkinhead. Yeah,
Ed passes out.
Oh. Yeah, because he's in like a weird trance the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he saw any of the Pumpkinhead.
It's
like we see that he was like looking
him.
at it, but yeah, like he was definitely in some kind of trance. So I don't know if he even recollects
what's going on.
Yeah, seeing it or anything.
He
like
doesn't
that.
act like it when he wakes up.
When he wakes up, and so then he wakes up. He then takes the body. She lets him take the body this time.
Yeah, because he's gonna go bury it.
And gets into his truck, and he's driving. There's this moment where the kid shoots up. You feeling like very Pet Cemetery. Again, we're talking about the scenes where they throw us to... Well, and he dug things up from a cemetery.
Yeah.
There's so many weird other 80s horror movie... not references, but like nods.
Yeah,
right?
nods to him.
And so like the kid shoots up. The blanket falls off. He's got his glasses on and everything. And he's like...
What'd you do, Daddy?
Talking about the unholy Faustian deal that he just made with this witch and the demon.
And he
freaks out.
Almost wrecks his truck.
But then he looks back and...
Just a dead body. Everything's fine.
He lifts it up. No glasses on the kid. Nothing. Kid is dead. That is the scene that convinced Lance Henriksen to do this movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
When he was reading the script,
yeah,
this was the one where he was like, I'm in.
That was the moment he was like, I want to do this movie.
So the kid's line of, what'd you do, Daddy?
Well, and him just being startled by like the dead kid coming back. And,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the scene.
This makes me appreciate this movie even more, like when you find out that like Lance Henriksen just like hated acting.
Yeah, because he came back into
this movie.
Yeah.
He kept being like typecast as like lawyers and shit, and just kind of regurgitating lines and stuff. So yeah, love this movie.
It's pretty good.
We should all give more appreciation to Pumpkinhead.
We want to cut back to our group, right? So at this point, we cut back to our group. Steve has shown back up, like we already established. He is at this point convincing his brother slowly,
to do
to
the
let
right
people
thing.
out of the closet.
They're still in there though,
because they are still in the closet. Maggie is still catatonic on the sofa.
Is this where she gets up and walks off?
Not yet. So he does convince his brother finally to let them out, right?
Yeah.
Because they are part of the conversation inside.
Yeah.
Once she goes off. But yeah. So Maggie hears something in the woods. I don't know
why.
While still catatonic, just stands up and starts walking. And Steve is the only one that goes after her. I guess the implication is that's
his girlfriend.
So everybody's paired up, right?
Yeah, Steve.
Or at least
Chris and
he's
Tracy.
trying to pair up with her. I think maybe more the implication, right? Like not necessarily that he already has, but like everybody's trying to be like, this is the weekend that Steve and Maggie get together. So Steve runs after. He grabs her cross, and I love that this is such a weird moment, but it's what breaks her out of it. He's like, this thing's what always carried you through, right? Well, let it carry you through one more time. And she snaps out, and you're like, all right, way to go, Steve. And then Steve immediately says he thinks Billy is okay.
Yeah.
And I swear to me, I felt like that was the moment where Pumpkinhead was like, no, he's got to go first.
Yeah, he's got to go first.
Because he keeps saying that Billy is okay.
He
right?
just won't admit.
Because he is now somehow connected to Billy in that way.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead was like, nope.
No, fuck you. You're
that
going
was
first.
the line, dude. If you wouldn't have said that, I might have skipped over you for right now.
If you hadn't have been such a smart ass.
But you had to be like, Billy's okay. It's all right. Things are
fine.
okay.
His dad came and got him. Everything's fine.
And so Pumpkinhead snatches Steve up from the top of a tree.
Yeah,
Again,
just
like,
comes up and grabs his head.
Pumpkinhead is such a crazy, skulking monster, like lanky thing. To think that it was in the tree.
Yeah, it's not the first
crazy.
time. He's in the tree later,
I
too.
know. It's just crazy, though, because like that's a weird monster to think is in a tree. But so he snatches Steve, and she runs back to the cabin. When she gets to the cabin, she's like, it's killing him. And we literally see they cut to smashing. He is dead.
Yeah, he is.
It is not killing him. It has killed him. It is over.
Yeah, he's
it is
already
toying
dead.
with his corpse at this point.
Back to the cabin.
And so we see Joel grabs a rifle.
Yeah,
We didn't even know
I'm not
was
going to kill my brother.
Yeah, we didn't even know was there.
I think they mentioned it earlier.
But he grabs the rifle. He throws it to Chris. That's why I knew that they'd already let Chris and Tracy out, because he gives the rifle to Chris. He's like, why he gives it to Chris instead of keeping it himself, I don't know. But he gives it to Chris, and he's like,
trying to make up for being such a dick.
I guess. But he's like, so we're gonna go handle it, right? And they literally,
as soon as they open
the door, and this is how much of a toy with you type of demon Pumpkinhead is. He just throws the corpse like right in front of him, like this guy.
This
you're
guy
coming for
is
this
who
guy
you're looking for.
And then
grabs Maggie
from the roof, right?
and
like
drags
somehow
her up
gets
over.
up to the roof and just grabs her. And
I liked her
snatches
feet kick over the peak of the roof when
they show like the grab the neck scene, right? And like I was so anticipating like just a quick like snap and be done, but no, it's there.
Yeah.
He's got so much more in plan.
Yeah, he does.
Now, while all this carnage is going on, we do cut back to Ed to find out that
he can see all
more
this stuff.
of the Faustian deal he made that he didn't realize was that he has to witness.
Yeah, he has to see the monster kill these people. Enjoy your vengeance.
That's right.
Drink it.
He has to know everything that's happening, and he doesn't like that at all.
No, he doesn't.
And so he starts trying to scramble and figure out what he might try to do. And so obviously his first stop is to the witch.
Yeah, and she's just...
he begs her.
You're a fool, Ed Harley.
Yeah, it has to run its course. And so that's all we get from her.
Yeah,
no more, no less.
Get.
So he leaves. He essentially starts loading up his arsenal. Right?
Yeah, he's like
he's getting his
she's
shotgun.
not going to help me. I'll deal with it myself.
He goes home to get his shotgun, and he starts trying to figure out where our crew is.
Yeah,
Pumpkinhead snatches Maggie while Ed is trying to scramble and get all of his stuff. Again, this is one of those movies where a lot is happening all at one time.
Yep.
And thankfully they don't cut too much.
No.
They did it just right. Like I'm not getting whiplash from the cuts back and forth.
From the amount of cuts and back and forth.
Right.
And when they do it makes sense.
Yeah. And so we see Pumpkinhead he is just toying with his victims at this point, right? He's carving
the cross on Maggie's
into
skull.
Maggie's head. Yeah. It's just like, geez, what is this?
Chris and Tracy are like out trying to find her this is going on.
Once she got snatched in the weirdest set of events ever, Tracy was like, I'm going to run after this monster I saw snatch this person
and drag her over the roof. And Chris is like, well, I can't let her go by herself.
So they're just off on their own.
Yeah. And Joel and Kim are still in the house.
And so then all of a sudden they're worried about where Maggie is. And again, just to show you how good he is at toying with people, Pumpkinhead, right when they're talking about her, drops Maggie down. She is still alive. We see her like mouth moving,
pushing her
and
up
then just pushes her through the window, like so hard it smashes, and she dies from the glass cutting her.
I love that shot. She's sitting, it squeaks as her face is just smashing against it. It's super funny.
And so then we see Kim faints.
Yeah, she faints.
And Joel basically is like,
he snaps a little bit.
He's gonna leave her at first.
Yeah, he's gonna leave her there. He runs outside and yells, "I'm the one you want."
Yeah,
and then he comes, turns around,
comes back inside, and then that's the first time that we really get to see that at this point, the kind of demon that got summoned, it doesn't care.
No.
It's not technically only about vengeance.
It sounds like it laughs when it walks in the door.
Well, and again, look, it does not even care that, yes, Joel is the one that it should be going for, and Joel did turn himself over.
Yeah.
It literally looked at Joel, it broke his hand, maybe?
He tried to hit him with the machete,
right?
and he broke it and just smacked him, and he goes flying
and then
back.
Grabs Kim.
And then just looking at him with a big grin, just grabs the chick and just drags her out.
So Kim's gone.
Oh, yeah. This is where he's up in the tree again. And he just drops her on a rock.
Yeah, she's just dead. Gone. No
Chris
more
and
Kim.
Tracy have come back by this point, too.
Well, they show up like literally like seconds after he takes Kim,
her.
because he's like, it took Kim, and they're like, what took Kim? Because again, they barely seen anything.
Yeah, they haven't really
Everything's
seen anything.
been off in the distance. You know, like when Steve got chucked onto the porch, it was from a distance. When Tracy got took, it was from the roof. They've not seen yet, and so he's the only one that's seen
got
it
up close and personal.
And so they're like, what do you mean it? And he's like, I don't know, and it. At that point, we are down to 3.
Yeah,
right. We got 3 survivors, and they just take off. Right.
Yeah.
At this point, we see like our mini throwback to the beginning.
Yeah, they're all.
We get a bigger one later, but right now it's like a mini throwback to how the movie opened. Right. Like they're banging on random doors.
Nobody's gonna help.
Nobody's gonna help.
They go to try and like take a truck.
They go to steal a truck. This is the key moment.
Yeah.
So they go to steal the truck.
Random hillbilly guy.
Random hillbilly shows up. He's like, you can't take my truck, and I can't help you. And he's got like
marked.
He's got like a wolf dog with him.
Yeah, that was a cool dog.
Pumpkinhead shows up, chases off the old man. The dog stays behind.
Yeah, it does. It just stands there and chills.
And then at this moment, we see Ed shows back up.
Yeah, he's caught back up with everybody, and
And
he
so
unloads on Pumpkinhead.
He's trying to get. He's like, I'm gonna save you.
And they shoot him.
He unloads on Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead drops, and you're like, all right, Ed saves the day. Woo-hoo. Joel, like the cocky bastard that he is, strolls up,
puts one in its head,
shoots
just
it
to
in
be
the head.
sure. Now
And
it's dead.
as soon as he says, now it's dead, Pumpkinhead snatches him by the leg, throws him to the ground. Does not kill him quite yet.
No.
And everybody else flees like they should.
Yeah, because we thought he was dead.
You know, Ed takes the other two, Chris and Tracy, and Ed's like,
move over here.
And so at this point we see, right,
Pumpkinhead picks up Joel's rifle.
And you're like, dude, I was like,
I thought he was going to shoot him.
I was like, he's about to, Pumpkinhead just unlocked the next level.
He's gonna put one in your head.
Yeah, he's about to unlock the next level, but no. Pumpkinhead takes this rifle and uses it like a harpoon and stabs it straight through his torso. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That's
speared by my own gun.
That's definitely one way to do it.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so then where do we go from here?
Oh, Ed gets attacked by the dog. Chris and Tracy
and they run away. Yeah, okay, good. And
this is where
I was like,
the first instance of Ed getting hurt, and it seems to affect.
Yeah, and we see it, but nobody else. No one else notices yet. Yeah, okay.
Because the dog bit him on the arm.
I was like, we're getting off.
This is where they run off to the Wallace's place.
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So the dog attacks, and then they take off towards the Wallaces. When they get to the Wallaces, they try to get inside. Nobody's wanting to help.
Old man Wallace is like, I can't help you.
And so then we cut to a scene though
of Bunt
inside the house.
Yeah.
Bunt getting his shoes and shit on. He's
putting
getting dressed. His sister's like, "Where you going?" He's like, "I gotta go." He doesn't even know he needs to help them right now. He just
wants to know if it's real.
He wants to know what's going on.
He's like, "I gotta know if it's real."
And so he gets outside. And as soon as it's so crazy, as soon as he sees the people, he's just like, "What's it look like? How tall is it?" And again, keep in mind, these people just watch this thing kill everybody they know.
Yeah, these are not the questions I want to be asked right now.
And so quickly though, he does start. He realizes
he's like, I think I know a safe place.
I need to stop talking to them about this stuff. He takes them out into the woods
to an old burnt out church, thinking that holy ground is gonna
consecrated ground could save him. And then that's when he finally finds out
that Billy is dead.
And that he that had a part in it. He finds out that Billy died, and he realized that
I took his dad somewhere. Damn it,
to a bad place.
I'm the one who took him to the old lady. I'm an asshole.
And so at this moment, it was one of those things where like he realized before he just inquisitively wanted to help. Yeah. Now he realizes he has an obligation.
Yeah. Now it's like, shit, this is my fault
to help.
I have to help.
This is when Ed showed up to the Wallaces because he's trying to find them / help getting rid of Pumpkinhead because he's seen extra deaths at this point. And so he shows up at the Wallaces and he's banging on the door trying to get, just like everybody else, trying to get in. This is the moment where it super feels like the opening of the movie because the Wallaces are like, no, buddy. And he's like, I'm gonna shoot my way in because he's got his gun.
Then that guy shows up behind him with a shotgun.
Shows up. Throw it down, Ed.
Don't make me do it, man. So he loses his shotgun though.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And so he throws it down.
Yeah.
He has this little confrontation with them. He runs off because he realizes he's still got more to do.
Yeah.
And they aren't going to help him. Because again, they already know if they
interfere, they're going to get fucked up.
If they get involved, well, especially with him because now he is connected.
Yeah, he's the main thing.
Yeah. So they can't deal with him, right? This
is all your shit, buddy.
So we cut back to the cemetery and we realize right now
holy ground don't mean shit to
Pumpkinhead. Just stomps his way right in. Luckily, all three of our people make it.
Yeah, they run off.
They make it out. That's when Chris then asks, "Do you know?" This was the weirdest question. Do you know the place where the vehicles are parked? He meant their vehicles.
Yeah, it made it
like
sound
he made it sound like some kind of weird parking for some place, right? But he meant their cars. Own vehicles.
Yeah, I was confused by that too.
So shouldn't he have just asked, Do you know where our cabin is?
Yeah.
Do you know how to get us to our cabin from here? That would have made sense to me. But the way he asked it, I was so confused.
Yeah, I was too. I thought it was
when they rolled up on their own vehicles.
Like Makeout Point or something, right?
When they rode up on their own vehicles, I was like, well, that's not at all the question
I thought you meant.
Yeah.
I was expecting some like ridge.
Takes them what we essentially must have been the driveway to the cabin they were in.
Yeah.
And when he gets there, we see that literally Pumpkinhead has thrown all of their vehicles.
They're
crazy, dude.
completely
Like
trashed.
cars
Flipped
are
over.
flipped. One motorcycle, one dirt bike.
Yep.
One dirt bike is standing upright, ready to go. And so Chris runs. He's going to jump on it. He starts kicking it, and it's just not turning.
And then
right?
Pumpkinhead shows up.
Drops the chain, the drive chain for the bike. And
It's such a smug look on his face, too, for a fucking monster. He's just
of course, because that's that moment where you're like, oh, he knows about modern technology. Because again, he picks up the gun but uses it as a harpoon. So did he know guns or did he not know guns? This is the moment where you're like, oh, he knows small engine repair?
Yeah, he knows what a fucking chain is for on a dirt bike. But he picks Chris up and chucks him, and that doesn't
with
kill
the
him.
dirt bike.
Yeah, with the dirt bike, whole
but
thing.
He is definitely not.
No,
he's not feeling good. He is smashed into the ground a little bit, right? And so they have to run and leave him because they knew they couldn't carry him.
Yeah, they're
out.
like, he's dead. Screw him.
But Ed shows up again. Right. This is the
this
moment
is
where
we're going to Ed's
this is where we
house.
messed up. This is the moment where he was like, "Follow me," right? Because before they didn't know if they could trust him because they were like, he might be trying to kill us too.
Yeah, he just dude
Because it was
shows
the
up
first
with
time.
a gun.
Well, and they killed his kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Guy that we killed the kid of shows up with gun. I don't know if I'm safe yet.
Yeah, right.
Right. And so now they know they can trust him. They've seen him twice, and he has fought the thing twice.
Yeah, and they load up in his truck and go back to
And
his
they go
house.
to his house. And when they get to his house, we see that he is making a flamethrower. Like supercharging the one that he has. Like
little yard
cranking
burning
it up.
one. He's in there. He's modifying that bitch. He's there
I
slapping
don't know about
shit
you, but
onto it.
again, we've already mentioned Aliens and the connection to the director and Lance Henriksen. I just felt Aliens. When he shoots that for the test shot, like I was like, did we just get transported onto a spaceship?
Yeah, we
is
did.
this Aliens right now?
This is a total shout out.
Was it not, dude?
Yeah,
like
it
I
was
was just
great.
like, stop it right now. But yeah, so he makes this cool flamethrower and he's like, we gotta take it out. And then literally like moments after that is said, Pumpkinhead shows up and is going after Bunt inside.
He's hiding in the closet.
Right? And it's for all intents and purposes, we thought Bunt was gone, dude, right? He grabs him, takes him outside, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's holding him by his head and he's not really moving. I thought he was dead.
And so we see this moment and we're like, oh, what's going on? It's the final confrontation.
They run outside and Ed immediately runs into the pitchfork.
Yeah, well, that's
where
that's the moment. She was already out. She chased him outside immediately. Ed's a little bit, because again, he's carrying the flamethrower, so he's slower. And so she sees that moment, and that's the first time people realize
there's a connection.
There's
here.
a connection between Ed and the Pumpkinhead.
When I get hurt, he gets hurt.
And so she sees that, and so she's
Ed
like,
throws
okay,
her the flamethrower.
and so she starts shooting the flamethrower. Other than dropping Bunt, it does no good. Does not help anything.
No,
Pumpkinhead does not
he
care.
laughs about it even.
Yes, did not phase him at all. And so that's the moment where the whole time this is going on, Ed is like stumbling and he's realizing, oh, I'm weak. It's weak. And so he runs to his truck
and goes for his pistol. Tries to shoot himself in the head.
Well, he does shoot himself in the head.
A kind of glancing blow.
It just wasn't fatal. He definitely shot himself in the head. There's definitely a bullet hole in his head.
But he does manage to not be dead after shooting himself in the head.
I'm not arguing with the...
I'm just trying to figure out how he shot himself in the head and wasn't immediately dead. It had to have
sinus cavity.
He was holding it at
sinus
an angle, something.
Sinus cavity.
But he stumbles out and drops the gun, and Tracy picks it up and just shoots.
Well, he tells her to.
He tells her to. He says, kill me.
And we have to mention this. We forgot because it happened so quick. With the pitchfork moment, the reason he was behind everybody is because that's the first time Pumpkinhead takes him over.
Yeah, he started to change. I think what happens, and they don't really explain it, is each time Pumpkinhead kills somebody, he steals a little bit more of
That's
Ed's
definitely
soul.
what happens, because the end of the movie lets us know that. We're jumping ahead. We skipped over. I just wanted to point that out.
His eyes all change.
So when they were in the barn, even though this is 5 minutes from credits rolling, we see that now all of a sudden Ed is being able to be controlled by Pumpkinhead. It's not just that he sees visions. While the visions go on, Pumpkinhead is in control of him. So now it's like there are two people trying to kill our crew.
Because he chases her out.
Yeah, and the pitchfork is what snaps. It's what snaps him out
of
of that, and the moment where she realizes he can get hurt. When she was going to shoot him, he says, shoot me. And she still wasn't sure about it.
Yeah.
But then he gets taken over by Pumpkinhead again, and he starts to stand up. And that's when she unloads the clip.
I missed that a little bit.
So she was originally even trying to think, I don't want to kill him.
There has to be another way.
But then he started to get taken over, and she's like, I I have to, because now there are literally just 2 of them.
She just unloads the whole revolver into him. Bang, bang.
Yeah,
bang.
and as soon as she kills him, Pumpkinhead drops, and then a couple seconds later,
he bursts into flames, which is sad because that's the real suit, and they just burned it at the end of the movie.
Flames gone, suit gone.
Yep, no more.
And so
Cool shot though.
Yeah. That's just the end. We don't see anything else with our survivors.
No.
We do know Chris did make it. The
'cause he's
motorbike did not kill him. Yeah, the motorbike didn't kill him.
His hand moves.
Especially when Pumpkinhead set on fire. Like, that's when he was like, whoa.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, what happened? What did we do?
But yeah, so we saw the movement. We know that he's alive. Bunt is okay. So our 3 survivors are Tracy, our final girl.
Yeah.
Bunt, and Chris. Everybody else, gone.
Very dead.
Then the movie, you think it's over, you think credits are about to roll, but we get one last, because this is the 80s and most horror movies did start franchises, so they always set it up ready for a franchise.
Yep, little teaser.
And so this one did just that for us. We see the witch.
Haggis.
We see Haggis. She is on top of the pillar of dirt. She is burying what they want you to assume is just something until the very final scene. But I want to say right now,
when she dumped it in the hole, it was Lance
you can
Henriksen.
clearly, well, not only that, but even before dumping it in the hole, when you just see her holding it, there's hair on the head. And Pumpkinhead at no point had hair.
Yeah.
And,
if anything, his head looks
and being
like the
set
head
on
from
fire
England.
would certainly not produce more hair.
No, it really wouldn't.
So you knew that there was no way. But so the movie wants you to act like you don't already know it's him, because they give you the last pan out shot is of the necklace
that his kid made him in the
very
of the
beginning.
movie.
The necklace, we forgot to say.
That we even forgot to mention.
Well, because it's not a big part. But the line is good where he's like, you don't have to wear it every day, just when the mood strikes you.
Yeah.
Well, now the mood strikes him all the time. And so we see that he gets buried, and we can only assume, like you were already saying with earlier, that parts of you get taken over
each time Pumpkinhead kills something.
And so
until
now
you are Pumpkinhead by the end of it.
And so now he did go far enough that she could bury this body, and in a few years she would still have this demon thing to summon. Credits roll.
If this movie had come out and not had to like compete with Child's Play and stuff, it would have been a much better franchise. It wouldn't have been like direct to VHS.
We've talked about this. This is a great movie.
It would have got more studio support.
This is a movie that a lot of people, it is a cult classic. It is a very big in the horror world. It is very big in independent movie making world, because it was made very cheaply with a very small budget, and they did amazing things with it. But it did spin off a franchise like most 80s horror movies. The second one didn't come out until like the mid 90s.
Yeah, it was like
Blood
94.
Wings. And so it's a Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. It's all about high schoolers and 2 generations of high schoolers, right?
Yeah,
it's like the
like
parents and how they killed people in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then again now, right?
Yeah, they beat some kid to death.
Yeah,
when
now
they were kids.
it's vengeance.
But they don't explain that until the end of the movie.
Vengeance again later. And that one starred Salil Moonfry. It's Punky Brewster for any people who don't know that name.
It's a hell of a name.
Salil Moonfry.
Yeah.
I love that name. But that's just Punky Brewster. That's
a weird name too.
That movie was definitely a direct to video, and then there are 2 more, I think, 2 or 3 more, and they were all direct to video. None of them were the franchise reboot revitalization they all hoped they might get. That being said, the second one did also have a video game.
I like the
computer
second
video
one.
game.
Second
Blood Wings.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Monster looks fine.
I mean, I like the second one better than the first one.
It does get into the action and killing and stuff a lot quicker. Than
I feel like you hear a little bit more about Pumpkin. This movie is just like you leave still just being like, what's going on? Who was this thing? What happened? You get a little bit more of the demon-y lore-ish
they
stuff
explain
going
it better
on.
in the second
a
one.
little bit. It's still pretty vague, but yeah.
I love this movie.
It's
I
a
love
great
the
movie.
monster. I love the creature effects that Stan Winston and his team did.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I love how when Pumpkinhead first comes around, his face is kind of blank, right?
Oh,
but
no, as the movie goes.
as it goes on, by the end of the movie, it looks like Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It was
there is a
awesome.
fusion going on,
Right? I was like, oh, that's such a cool detail how it does that throughout the movie.
All right, well, I mean, we're done with the movie.
Yeah, we're done with the movie.
Pumpkinhead Ale. I gotta say, it's different. It's different. It's not. It grows on you the more you drink it. For anyone at home who's never had it, just be ready. If you love pumpkin-y things,
Pumpkin pie and pumpkin cookies.
It is
and shit
definitely
like
going to be right up your alley.
I don't care for it. It's all right though.
I mean, again, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not as bad as it could be. I was afraid it was going to be like
Sweet.
sickly sweet pumpkin pie.
Syrup.
Next week, what are we doing next week?
What are we doing next week? We are going to be doing Three Floyds. We like Three Floyds here.
Yeah, we're coming back to them again.
They're usually pretty good to us here, but we're going to be doing zombie ice this time.
All right, so everybody, you know the drill. Last time we did Three Floyds, it was Zombie Dust that got you. Night of the Comet. I know those are vastly different names. Subject matter, though?
So it's
Spot on.
Yeah.
Same thing this time. The name may not get you there. The subject matter is 100% spot on. We couldn't ask for better.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. Make your guesses on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, make your guess anywhere where you see a comment that can be left.
Yeah, if you see
feel
anywhere
like
you
it,
can leave a comment, go for it.
Yeah, do it. I think we're done.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Let's go to the pumpkin patch. Goddamn city folk.